All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the Tuesday night principled Chiro broadcast from DE and Band of Brothers. I'm Dr. Brian Moriarty, your esteemed MC for tonight's exciting call with Dr. Liz Rassel. But guys, before we get there, DE is getting close. We are about 2 months away from DE, and the rooms are starting to book up. But we need to get those rooms booked by Christmas. So we're about 6 weeks away from Christmas. I know some people have booked. But there's our schedule there, January 12th through the 15th in Clearwater. That's the one we're talking about. We want to get those rooms booked because our deadline is just before Christmas. So, let's get those done. Then we're at Sarasota in April, back to Atlanta for July and October. Go to lifede.com to get registered, guys. This is going to be a big one in Clearwater. You want to get in now before that room block fills up. My brother told me he's going to be coming down from Atlanta to go to our Clearwater DE. He's all registered. So excited to see him there. So anyway, let's get registered for DE, guys. I know it seems like it's a long ways out, but it really isn't. So let's get those rooms booked up and get registered for Dynamic Essentials. Tonight, election night. Very exciting time here, guys, in this world. We all voted. Okay, I voted. And in my state of Florida, where we have a hurricane heading directly for Stuart, Florida, Category 1, hopefully we're okay. But in my great state, we reelected Governor Ron DeSantis here by a whopping 16 percentage points. So we're very excited to have our governor of freedom reelected in the state of Florida. Many people don't know this, but 4 years ago, he won by 0.4%. 0.4%, and then over 16 points this year in 2024. We're watching a lot of other races closely. I know the GCC guys are watching Governor Brian Kemp, their good friend, hoping to see him get reelected there. Great friend of the GCC. And speaking of the GCC in Florida, GCC had their big Savannah convention. They were breaking records there over the weekend, I heard. So congrats to them. In Florida, we had our big FCS Clearwater convention, same places where where DE is, and we had an awesome convention, one of the best ones ever from some of our attendees. So a lot happening with the state associations. And GCC's got their big casino night coming up. There it is. Thanks, Kat. Casino night, December 9th at 8 p.m. Go to georgiachiropractic.org to register. So they've got their big CE weekend there. Friday night, they've got a philosophy speaker flying in from Florida. And it's yours truly, FCS President Dr. Brian Moriarty will be your speaker that night. And that will lead into casino night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Me and Laura are both coming up. And I hope to see you guys there. That's going to be a great event. You got the Twos, the Liebermans. You want to hang out with a lot of fun people, go to this GCC event. I think it's like $100. Throw it and have some fun. Casino gambling. Boy, you can't beat it for that price. You can hang out with me. So come on. We'd love to see you guys. Go get registered for that. That's going to be a fun Friday night in December. We'd love to see you there. Okay, I think I got through all the announcements here, Kat. So we're going to get going with our speaker from tonight so everybody can get back to election night results. But this lady is on the move in DE. She started as like a Thursday night speaker, moved up to Friday, then it was Friday night. Now she's like Saturday night. I don't know. She's just on the rise. So she must be doing something right. I always, try to pump her up because she's an awesome lady and an awesome speaker. I think she's Nevaeh's #1 speaker, just so hope no one else is offended, but Nevaeh loves this girl. And I think we all do too. Rocking from the state of Indiana, on the move, one of our favorites, big time DE speaker and longtime attendee. Give it up for Dr. Liz Rassel. Liz, love and appreciate you, girl. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. Sorry to take so long getting started. We relocated into a different location into the home office. I thought I would be able to speak to you from the first floor, but I'm really excited to be here tonight. And especially at the last DE, a lot of things came to fruition. You know, DE is such a pivotal time in so many of our lives, mainly because we go there and we shed the husks and we become different people and we try to grow from it. Being raised at DE as young as 7 or 8 years of age when I first started with my parents, you know, you think you get a lot out of it, but really it's when you're salted in that principle of understanding that there's a purpose behind what we do as chiropractors. You know, we're trying to save lives. We're trying to remove interference so that the body can express natural healing. And, you know, there's different stages to being a great practitioner and a great chiropractor. I think about my husband, Tony, he's a farmer. And I just thought taking a little seed, dropping it in some soil, throwing a little water on there and a little bit of sunlight, boop, up comes a seed, because that's what seeds normally do. But if you really want a seed and a plant to grow into an amazing individual plant and bear fruit, there's a lot more to it. It's like the soil that the seed is planted in. You have to have the right amount of nitrogen. You can't have too many aphids coming into your plot of land. There's so many variables that go into planting this particular seed. And this journey of me being a chiropractor and being raised at DE, I'm in no way am I perfect at all. I think about Dr. Brian Moriarty. He too is raised at DE. He's a second generation chiropractor. Many chiropractors are second generation chiropractors that go to DE because we love this principle that we get so dipped in at this particular seminar. But when I think about my journey in chiropractic and think about learning these life lessons with Dr. Sid, I don't know why I'm so emotional about him. He's an amazing man. And I'm sad that everybody didn't get to experience him. And I'm sad that I didn't get to experience him more, even though I went to a lot of the assemblies and I went to most DEs as I was a student. You know, but the principles that Dr. Sid Williams instills in us are quite profound, and you can take with them and run. It's the same as like the Bible. A lot of people have quoted the Bible. They know John and Luke and Isaiah, and they recite these principles that they're able to apply in their everyday life. And one of the main principles that I get to apply in my life is the one of giving, loving, and serving from your abundance. And that's pretty profound because it's just not about giving, loving, and serving. It's about doing it with no expectations in return. I'll tell you, that's the hardest part. My phone is on a box of tissues, so I think I'm going to take one. I'm a bumbling idiot. Not because it's an hour late. Fall back. Because I'm a bumbling idiot. Oh, dude, by the way, Liz, you freaking rocked it last week. I listened to your talk and my heart just like hurt for you in so many ways. And I realized really the growth that you're in. I was deeply moved. So thank you for sharing with us last week. I really have never connected with you, but when I heard your speaking, your heart really came through and I felt you. So thank you for doing that. I was pretty impressed. I'm like, I don't know if it's just Liz or it's her name. Because I got the same name. So back to this principle, giving, loving, serving from your abundance without any expectation in return. So we ask God, Lord, send us all the people that you know that we can help. And I prayed and prayed and prayed this, and God has sent me amazing abundance in my practice. I'm very fortunate. I didn't expect anything else. I expected that to be a success because that's what Dr. Sid told me. I mean, he was the guru in chiropractic, and he said, listen, you show up and you serve long days and sleepless nights. Get ready. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to be a success. Be ready. Technique is like a bypass. You have to have that willing and that dedication and the conviction in the principle of what we do. And you have to be ready to do whatever it takes to give, to love, and serve from your abundance. And so, you know, I just celebrated 21 years at Rassel Chiropractic here in LaPorte, Indiana. And to give, like I give a lot. I sponsor without them knowing one family, and I send them quite a few $100s anonymously without them knowing, because I want to give to them. I give to my church, but I want to like secretly give in so many ways. And I try not to do it in a way that I need to get something in return. You know, I love for the sake of loving in my practice. I love every patient. I love the stinky ones the most. They're the ones that I like rub up on, and I give them a big Rassel hug, and I just pour my heart into them, because those are the ones that need it the most. The ones that can't keep eye contact, I somehow lock their eyes and I just get in, because it might not always be your adjustment that you're able to connect with them. So it's the give and the love and the serve. And the serve was like the hardest part, especially after the last DE. You hear this, Dr. Brian Brian Lieberman says from the stage so fluently the definition of DE. And he says very, very easily the words to give, to love, to serve from your abundance with no expectation in return. And the first time that I ever heard that, well, I heard it lots of times, but the first time that I heard it, like really heard it, it was right after 9/11. And I was in Pennsylvania, and Dr. Darcy Anderson told me about it. And I don't even remember what she was referring to, but I remember where I was in Tina Sigafus's living room, because I was there and I was associated with Dr. Sigafus. And at the time, Darcy's home was being built, and she too was living in one of the spare bedrooms. And I remember where I was in the house, and she looked at me and she told me those words. She says, listen, you need to stop expecting things in return. When you give and you love and you serve, and you with no expectations in return, you cannot give something and think that you're going to get something in return. And that's the hardest thing, because when you lend money or you buy lunch, like, oh, I'm going to buy you lunch. Well, next time you got it, right? You got it. No, you cannot expect that. That's a hard concept to get through. And that was the first time that I heard it. And to give is really easy, because when you give money, you never expect to see it back if you are ready to go. You love because that's who you are. I love because that's who I am. It's easy for me to love people. I love my kids. I love my patients. I love myself. I love my husband. I love my DE family. Like, it's really easy to love, because there's no reciprocity in that love. That is my ability, my capacity. But to serve, what does that really mean, to serve? Like, I don't even know the definition of serving. Serving means you show up and you're ready to do what it takes. But how much? How much are you willing to do? Like, is it only serving in chiropractic? Is it only serving by being called to be a speaker at DE? Is it serving communion at Mass? Is it, I mean, you can create any type of serving, but really, what's service? Like, service means you show up and do something of your time, talent, and effort without any expectation in return. And you know, I thought about that. I read through, it was one of the first times I read through my notes from DE, and I underlined serve, like serve, serve, serve. One of my patients, her name is Emily, her son died. He had sudden infant death syndrome, and he was born July 15th, and he died the day after Labor Day on a Tuesday. In fact, she was getting him ready to come in, their family, to get checked, and she laid him down for a nap. And an hour later, she went to go wake him up, and he had flipped over. He was 7 weeks old. He had flipped over, rolled onto his belly, and he suffocated. So that's what's really been happening in my life lately. This poor little baby named Sam. And it's affected one of my main families in my practice. So I went to her and I said, Emily, every time I try not to talk about like, how are you doing? But really, I want to know. I want to know how she's processing because I couldn't imagine losing my a child. It was her sixth child. Her oldest one is 9 years old. Only daughter, Kathleen. And so I asked her, I said, how are you doing? How are things going? And she says, well, it's not going good. I said, have you been in Sam's room? She goes, no, I can't even walk in there. I can't even walk in. We hung black curtains over. It's been a month and a half. I can't even walk in there. I said, what are you going to do with the room? Like, when are you going to go in? And she goes, well, my ultimate goal would be to redo it and give it to Kathleen. And, Kathleen needs her own room, and she's the first female, the only female, and she's the eldest, and she probably needs that room the most. And all of a sudden, like, this heat came over me, and I thought, you know what? I am so talented. I have people and friends and patients that I could make this happen. Like, I could redo this entire room. So I did. I went like on this rampage, and I started with my carpenters in my practice, and I said, hey, is there any way that you'd be willing to donate your time, come with me for a meeting to see what I have to do to redo this room? I have no idea what the room is. I'm thinking paint, bed, lights, curtains. I mean, what do I need to do? And we went in there, and it's horrible. I mean, this house that she lives in, she doesn't even have a working toilet on the second floor. They take water from the tub and dump it into the toilet to flush it. They can't even flush the toilet. Behind this tub, it's like totally cracked up. They have no running water other than sponge bath. The room it's like an old house, like what I did here at the home office. But I had gathered, I contacted my electrician that built my addition. I said, is there any way you'd be willing to donate your time? He said, I'm all in. I got my plumber on board. I got my electrician on board. I got 2 carpenters. I went to the place I bought my carpet, and I said, this is the story. I want to make a difference in this person's life. Is there any way that we can get some discounted carpet for this room and padding and installation, or free? Is there anything that we could do? I got the local high school union's labor guy. He's going to come in and reset the toilet. We have the local hardware store donating any materials that we need. I went there for 3 hours. I painted a wall. We've been there 2 weekends. I mean, people have come out of the woodwork to help this family. And I'll be honest with you, like, it feels so good knowing that I'm going to make a difference in her life and those children's life, especially how bad her house is. I mean, I looked around and I realized I have so much. Like, we have so much. We're so abundant. We are so abundant in everything. I mean, not only as chiropractors, and we get to lay our hands on people and love people, but we have a place to take a dump. You know what I mean? Like, this poor family can't even flush the toilet when they take a poop, and they have 5 people under the age of 8. Like, I mean, I know that no matter what I do and how far I go to help this family and help her room, cabinets, plumbing, electric, carpet, new bed, whatever it may be, and it's going to happen. And it's going to happen before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make sure it happens, and everything has been donated, including time. But I realize that we have such a capacity to serve, not only in life, but by what we do as chiropractors. And we are playing safe in so many ways. It's Thanksgiving weekend, it's midterms. Thanksgiving weekend's coming up, it's midterms. Like, it's time to make a difference. It's time to expand our balloon. It's time to increase our capacity to serve. Like, I think of a balloon. You put water in that balloon and it fills the balloon. But really, the more water you put in that balloon, it expands and expands and expands, or air. The capacity, I mean, the definition, I wrote it down, is the maximum amount that something can contain or produce. That's the capacity. What's your capacity? What is my capacity? I mean, I'm so busy playing small. I feel like there's so much more that I can do. I mean, I'm going to be 52 here next month. And I mean, I'm saying that when I'm 72 that I'm not going to be worth a whole lot, but I only got 20 more years before I like slow down. Like I'm in my prime right now. And it's the same with you listening to this call. Like we have been called to be servants. And it's not in our families. It's not only in our practice, but it's outside. Like listen to that voice within and start serving from your abundance. You know, it's not what you say, it's what you do. It's what you do. It's not what you say. And it's what you do and how you move mountains. Like small little mountains, small little molehills are mountains for people. And we have the capacity because we've been chosen and we've been told that we can do it. Dr. Sid told us that we can do it. We have the capacity to do it. God himself told us that we have been called to serve one another, to serve ourselves, to serve humanity. And it's time to start doing it, to give, to love, and to serve like from our abundance. I was reading a book and Dr. Rossi, he made a pretty profound statement. He said, service takes you out of the ego and puts you puts you in tune with the universe. So let me say that again. Service takes you out of the ego and puts you in tune with the universe. Like I was really, really serving my own ego. And the second that you start serving other people and helping them create a better life for themselves, whether it's freaking scraping wallpaper off, painting, and a couple hours you have day off. Like the last 2 weekends, we were just working our ass off trying to get this place organized. There's a lot of things that I could be doing from my office, but we're so abundant in nature and we don't realize all the beautiful blessings that we have. And we need to start looking outside of our own and start giving for the sake of giving and loving for the sake of loving and truly serving for the sake of serving without any expectation in return. Our humanity needs us and we need to start doing more. Like I'm calling myself to action. I'm calling you to action. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Christmas is around the corner and we need to start doing it. So I appreciate you letting me vent. Normally I don't cry. I don't know why I'm a bellyache and cry ball baby. Probably because I realize we're so blessed. You know what I mean? And thank you, Nevaeh, for allowing me to shed another huzz. I know you're my biggest fan and I love you for that. And I love you so much and I appreciate you. And I appreciate my DE family. Beth. I don't know where you are, Brian. You're probably taking a dump or watching the news.
No, I'm not taking a dump, Liz, but thanks. a lot of poo talk on this call.
It is about the poo.
I got to make a joke because
you should.
That was very touching. I was moved to almost tears with you, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed that. I didn't see that coming because you were like really bouncy and
I didn't see it coming either, Brian.
that was like a left hook here, but I loved it. I mean, I love seeing your raw emotion out there, and I think that's what a lot of people love about you is that you wear your heart on your sleeve, and you have some great content. And we do need to serve bigger. You're right. Yeah. So that was a nice kick in the ass for me, and probably other people listening. And I really love and appreciate you. And I thought it was an awesome Brian. Call tonight. Thanks for being on, as always.
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
No wonder you're on Saturday nights. Look how good you are, girl.
It's not about good. It's about naive.
Yeah. Well, that wraps it up, guys, for tonight's Tuesday night Principled Chiro broadcast from DE and Band of Brothers. We're going to see you next Tuesday night. Dr. Andy Harding will be your MC. I don't know who the speaker is. They probably told me, but I forgot. But anyway, it'll be somebody amazing like Liz, so you'll want to check in. Next Tuesday, 9 p.m., guys. Have a great week. God bless. Liz, thank you so much.
I love you, Brian. Thank you, honey.
Love you.
Happy New Year.
book.